What's up, everybody? Rothstein here, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fane Rothstein, a.k.a. Bay O Wolf. Today's Monday, March 16th, 2026. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments. Share the video. All right? I'll have some sports betting action for the tournament on you on Thursday. I don't do the play-in games, and I already know one of the games I'm taking on Friday. We're taking an upset. By the time Friday comes, hell, it might not be an upset no more. They might not be the underdog, the team I'm thinking of. But at any rate, let's get down to business. Because the whole, at least the urban portion of your favorite apps, X, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, is like going buzz and just cracking up at that video of Memphis rapper FYNESSE2TYMES. The no milk video. Now full disclosure, I don't even know who. I don't know. I've heard the name FYNESSE2TYMES, but I couldn't tell you his song he's written because I'm old. I like what I like. I've kind of, phased out of rap, at least new rap. I'm kind of phasing out of it. If I catch a good song by chance, I catch it. And I, like I said, I don't just totally dish it. That song by Little Baby and 42 Doug. I love that song. That's one of that song that we paid. That song stayed. That's one of my. That's going to stay in my personal collection right up there with Vapors. I Ain't No Joke. It's right up there with them. For me, I love that song. Them guys, they spitting, and I love that little part. Bro, took so many L's, I finally called me an M. Love that. It's an inspirational song. But that FYNESSE2TYMES, I'm not familiar with him, and I do apologize to the brother. But everybody's going crazy about his little video there. Where he's like, well, you got to watch the whole thing because he tells a story about he took some food to the mother of his son. $360-something worth of food that he got from like Family Dollar or Family Value or something. A discount store, as opposed to going to Kroger's. He said he knew if he went to the high dollar store, he wouldn't be able to get that much. Now you gotta remember, in his video, he clean as fuck, nice clean hairline, taper and all that shit, fro taper, and he got the little gold fronts and, he grilled up. So I don't know when this situation with taking the food to his mom happened, before he got on or after he was popping, whatever. But like I said, there's a hell of a message in it, and we're missing it because we're laughing because what he said. I mean, don't get it twisted. You watch it, you're going to crack up. It's hilarious to me. That's what made me watch it so many times, to get that message. He's saying about how he took $360 worth of groceries over to the mother of his son's house, and the mom tripped like, my son don't eat this bullshit. This some fake ass food. He's got the off-brand Salisbury steaks, the off-brand nutty bars, and oatmeal cream pies, all that stuff that he bought for them, that he bought for his baby mama, for his son. And there's something to be said about that. Off-brand stuff does taste totally different, especially that stuff at Family Dollar or those types of stores. Dollar General, those types of stores. The nutty bars don't taste the same. They really don't. They taste different. The oatmeal cream pies, they don't taste like Little Debbie's. You know what I'm saying? He said the mother of his son said that to him, like, my son don't eat this fake ass food. And he just goes off like, what? I ate, and then that's when he starts going into his rant. I ate syrup sandwiches. He says syrup, not syrup. The very strong Southern drawl. I ate syrup sandwiches. Calls her a word. I ain't gonna say it. I ate noodles. No packet. He's doing it. His head won't stop moving. I don't know. I'm sure, being a rapper, especially a young rapper in his career, he indulged in some intoxicants. They might have gotten to him for his head to be moving like that. But I ate noodles, no packet. I ate the canned milk. He's talking about milk. And I'm thinking, I'm looking at it like, ooh, he ate canned milk with regular cereal? Because I remember I used to eat the canned milk, pet milk we called it, evaporated milk. Pet milk that was one of the brands of it, and ate it. We usually ate it with hot cereal though, oatmeal, grits, or cream of wheat. We didn't, my household, my family, my mother didn't, we didn't eat it with cold cereal. Even though we, kept it in the refrigerator cold, but we used to eat it with cold cereal. She would always have us some regular milk for that, homogenized milk. But yeah, I ate canned milk, powdered milk, powdered milk. You know what I'm saying? They even ate sometimes with no milk. They start talking about the rest. He ate waffles, no syrup, with jelly. No jelly, then nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, so it's funny when you just listen to him, but the message is great. I love the message in that. Like, what do you mean there's some fake ass, what is this lady talking about? There's some fake ass food. It's food for the boy to eat. It ain't necessarily the best selections, but the baby gonna eat good. And that's that goes back to that whole child support shit and all that. Because at least the mom is trusting him to bring food to the house and not having him on child support, taking money out of him and, risking him in jail and shit. Taking money directly out of his check where he's got to keep a job and all that type of shit or whatever and whatnot. And good for him for, feeding, taking $360 worth of food over there. That sounds like a good 2-3 weeks, if not the whole month worth of food. Well, it is for just a child. But, the mom tripping like that, it's like, hold on now. Not everybody can't eat caviar and lobster for breakfast. Caviar, lobster and shrimp every night. Everybody can't do that. So good for FYNESSE2TYMES doing that. A mom tripping like that, that's some bullshit. Like, you can't just be flexing on your, going off on your babe, the father of your child, just because the food ain't top of the line every time. You're gonna eat and eat good. Sometimes, because that's a good lesson for the kid to know. Sometimes, like the KRS One song, "Love Gonna Get You." I got beans, rice, and bread. I got beans, rice, and bread on my shelf. Then later in the song, he says, like, now there's steak with the beans and rice. So you gotta wait till it it gets greater later. It gets greater later. And I don't understand, why she kind of tripped on him like that, said it's fake ass food because it wasn't top of the line. That was kind of weak of her. It seemed like a true story. I don't see why the guy would be fronting. It seemed like a true story the way he, like I said, the way he's just going off in on it. And, ladies, respect whatever he can do for his child, respect it. It gets greater later. All right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and it wasn't even struggle meals. He was like, all you gotta do is, he was like, all you gotta do is put some seasoned salt on them Salisbury steaks, and they good to go. Black pepper on it, and they good to go. He's got a point. It ain't gotta be Swanson. I ain't had a good Salisbury steak in a while either. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here shunning what the guy's trying to do and just shitting on him like that, saying this, my son don't eat this. What do you mean he don't eat it? Obviously he does, because he wouldn't be paying child support if you obviously didn't need it. Need help with it. Feeding the boy. Because let's be honest, child support ain't nothing but a damn transfer of wealth. You know, the vindictive, aggressive women that love to put you on child support, they're doing that because they want to feel like they can control you. They ain't doing it because they got money, because they need the money. Hell, ain't you got a family? Ain't you got a family, a support network to make sure you know. I got 4 sisters. 3 of them have children. I don't remember them ever. Well, 1. The other 2, I don't remember them tripping on child support over their baby daddies. It was just like, you know, they had a network, you know, of other aunts and uncles and, you know, grandma, you know, just make sure, you know, my nephews, they never starved. They never starved. And plus they moms always had nice jobs anyway. Them kids never starved. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want, you know, to us get lost on, you know, what's going on in that video by Finesse2Tymes. You know, he's telling you the story about the mother of his son tripping on him about what he's bringing for the kid to eat, you know, which is, because if he wasn't paying on child support, he wouldn't have no say in it. You know, then she might go up there and you know, waste, you know, get $300 worth of food and it only covers a week and a half because she got top of the line shit at Kroger or Dorothy Lane or something. You know, instead of going up there, you know, to the what is that, the dollar store and eating good. You know, because those dollar stores, you know, up around here, they're $1.25. Everything's $1.25. $360 if that baby gonna eat good. Like I said, that's a good month of food or close to it. So there's a lesson in that video about cooperation and, you know, remaining humble and knowing that it gets greater later. Don't get lost in the fact of the, you know, the funny part of him, you know, the way he's pronouncing milk, Merc. You know what I'm saying? No jelly. No jelly, nothing. You know, let's not get carried away with the funniness of it. I mean, it's funny, but don't get lost. Don't lose the message in that. All right? What do you think? I'm sure you thought it was funny. Tell me what you think of the video. Is there a message in that? Is that the proper message? You know, kids can eat. You know, these are just children. They can eat. They'll be fine. You got to go out and wine and dine them, you know, heavily at such a young age. Let them do that on their own. You know, you get what you can afford. Don't go kill yourself trying to eat like the Joneses. But the answer to these questions and more will be answered on the next episode of Soap. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll holler. Peace.